The story of toilets and telephones and other useful inventions. Chapter 1. The story of toilets. Long ago, people didn't even have houses, so building a toilet was the last thing on their minds. They roamed the forests, hunting animals, gathering berries, and squatting behind a tree. Then they learned to farm the land and made themselves homes to live in. Some built a toilet in the yard, but it was only a hole in the ground. When the hole filled up, they simply covered it with mud and dug another. This worked fine until they ran out of space. The ancient Romans had a much better idea: public toilets. They placed a long stone slab with holes over a deep trench. Then they decorated the toilet room with marble and mosaics. Going to the toilet became a great way to meet people. Romans sat in a row, chatting about politics and plays. Below them, water flowed through the trench and washed everything away. At Rome banquets, rich guests didn't even have to leave the room. They simply asked a slave to bring in a silver pot and filled it there and then. In later times, people were more shy about these things. Lords and ladies preferred to go alone, using fancy cushioned toilet boxes often hidden behind a curtain. These were a lot more comfortable, though someone then had to empty them. Castles and fortresses had basic toilets built into their design. Some jutted out from the main building, emptying onto the moat below. Yuck! Sticky moats were great protection. No enemy wanted to wade through them. But the smells were about to get worse. Medieval towns were being built, and everyone had forgotten the Roman public toilets. Luckily, they still had pots. It's cold outside. Don't worry, use this. This allowed people to go in the comfort of their own bedroom. They were known as chamber pots. But the pots had to be emptied, and the easiest way was out of a window. Unlucky passers-by got a yucky surprise. With nowhere for the waste to drain away, the smell on the streets was disgusting. It's a wonder anyone ever went shopping. Kings and queens had to introduce toilet laws. I forbid you from dumping filth in rivers or on streets, Edward III announced to the people of London. Where else can it go? The problem was finally solved by laying pipes and drains underground. Toilet filth could now glide away under the street, not over it. Of course, when something got stuck, the mess was awful. In 1596, Sir John Harrington, godson of Queen Elizabeth I, had a brain wave. I'll invent a toilet that flushes. A royal flush. Making the flush work properly took ages. In fact, most people didn't have a flush for another 200 years. Many plumbers worked hard to improve toilet designs, including a man named Thomas Craper. He set up his own Craper plumbing shops in London and took charge of the royal toilets. By 1880, the toilet had really arrived. Since then, only the shapes and decorations have changed. Some are fitted into the wall, others are made to look like fronts. Space toilets even have bars to stop you from floating away. Today, we take toilets for granted. But spend a day in the woods and you'll soon learn how things were for our ancestors. No tea for me, thanks. I'm bursting.